Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for December 21st. Okay, first a comment on my mugs, okay? Um, they're very large, I know. I love large mugs. Thing is, they're not usually filled all the way up. My beverage consumption, 98% of it on a day-to-day ongoing basis is actually water. But at this time of year, hot chocolate with Baileys, hot apple cider, just one of the bestest things about winter. So when you see me with my mugs, that's what's going on there. So I just want to clear up any confusion that anybody might be having. I am going to be in the next 2 weeks popping out 2 videos a week on the Insights channel and 1 video a week on the, 2 videos a week on the Intuitive Tarot channel, this channel, and 1 video on the Insights channel. So I'm not vanishing, I'm not disappearing over the holidays, I'm just lightening the load a little bit so that I have a bit more time to enjoy the season. And speaking of which, I of course wish all of you an amazing, amazing holiday season. We are in Christmas week, and it's a really lovely time to just sit back, reflect. It's been a hard year, so let's take a little bit of peace and tranquility and enjoyment where we can. Today, on Monday the 21st, there is also going to be a video released on the Insights channel. That's going to be the video for the week, and there will be another one next week. And the reason I'm releasing it early on Monday is because it is a shamanic fire ritual releasement exercise. It's a guided meditation to just get rid of those things that no longer serve us, to make room for new energy to be able to flow in. And because today is that grand conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, it just makes sense that this would be the day that it would get released. So look forward to that. It'll be coming out shortly as you're seeing this. Okay. So I wanted to take a moment and take a look at Russia, okay? Because this hack thing is really, really becoming bigger and bigger as more and more is known about it. And I think I want to do a bit of a deep dive on that. So that is my question. And here we go. Let's just give these cards a bit more of a shuffle. I'm curious to see how much of the reading on Russia has to do with Trump. It's probably front and center. Oopsie. Okay. So I don't have a card for Putin. I've never designated a card for him specifically. As I was shuffling the deck before I came on to video this, I was thinking, Cindy, you don't have a card to represent Putin. And this card kept flipping out. And so because it's just flipped out again, we're now going to call this card either Putin/Russia. Okay? So we're going to keep this out and see what information we get. Come on down, because I have a question. Oh, by the way, later on, okay, if I doesn't get done this week, although I have every intentions of getting it done this week, but if not, before the new year, there absolutely is going to be a pet video, a pet parade video, okay? Because, they need to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday season and a good New Year. So keep your eyes open for that. Here we go. Russian hack USA. Russian hack USA. Russian hack USA. Oh, don't have my handy dandy wand. See, I'm a little scattered today. I'm already in holiday mode, right? There's my little wand. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to create a bit more space. Okay, so we've got my emperor sitting here as Putin/Russia, because of course that's what he thinks he is, right? He really does want to be the great czar of Russia, which, I don't know that it's actually working for him, but boy, he sure doesn't want to give up. So, yeah, alrighty. So, Putin has had his eye on destroying the United States for a very, very long time. It is what motivates him. In some cases, it's what drives him. And Trump, boy, I hope that wasn't a Freudian slip. Trump was like a gift beyond even his wildest imagination. This is the thing. When Trump wanted to have that beauty pageant, when he had the beauty pageant in Russia and he wanted to pursue building that Trump Tower in Moscow, Putin already knew everything there was to know about Trump. Putin is a brilliant strategist, whether we like it or not, and whether we like him or not. And I imagine if you're watching this channel, you probably don't like him at all. But he's brilliant at what he does. I'm sorry. And so he knew all about Trump and Trump's personality and the Trump dynamics before, trust me, any of them set foot on Russian soil. And he knew that by not, coming to the pageant, not having that private meeting with Trump, it would trigger Trump because, Trump's big thing is he has to be accepted. Everybody has to love him. He wants to be friends with everybody because that is how he, in his head, recruits this one-way loyalty thing. As soon as, he can attach the name friend to somebody, he believes that they absolutely owe him complete loyalty. And of course, that was, that's what he wanted. That's what he strives for. So by Putin denying him that, it just made Trump that much more eager to get into Putin's good circles and into his good graces. And so Putin played him masterfully. Now, then along comes Trump deciding to run for president. Well, my God, this is just going to be the gift that keeps on giving. And so Putin did what he could do, including using his Russian hacking people, the IT knowledge of that country, to, do what could be done. Okay, so Trump wins the election. And Putin has now had 4 years of dangling carrots in front of Trump. That's exactly what has been going on. Oh, you do this. I will remember. And when you want to expand your empire, Russia's your friend. Russia will be there. Putin loves you. The oligarchs love you. Well, oh my God, that was all Trump needed to hear to pretty much grant every single wish, desire, or even thought that Putin had. So that's the situation. So the reality is that this hacking thing has probably been going on for longer than even there is an inkling of now. And it certainly looks as if it has proved to be bountiful. It has proved to be wildly successful. It is going to take a very, very long time. 2 things. One, to figure out exactly all the information Russia got, to figure out exactly if there was simply spying or tampering or extracting of information. And I suspect it's not going to be an easy thing to get them out of the systems. I mean, they've gone after Treasury and Commerce. They're everywhere. And of course, Trump stayed silent on this thing for days and days. And then, of course, what did he say? Well, it could have been China, because China's just to blame for everything in Trump's world, which makes me wonder exactly how big the private slap in the face Trump got from China for him to literally have created this much of a hard-on, excuse my expression, towards China. Like, he really must have gotten pushed back in a significant way behind closed doors. That is why he's blaming everything on China. That's why he's so vengeful about it. Makes you wonder if even the whole tariff trade war thing didn't really blow up in his face even more than we don't know, more that we don't know behind the scenes. So Trump has been a goat. Literally, he is able to pass along the information that Putin wants in such a way so that Putin gets what he wants. And of course, that's not to discount some of, especially some senators who are also deep into Russian pockets or into, who may be being blackmailed by Russia, who are going to not push back at all when it comes to Russia. And so it was like the perfect storm. It was as if all the elements came together to create this absolutely brilliant period of time where Russia could exact revenge on the United States almost at its will. Almost without even thinking, without it even really causing this emperor a great deal of stress or strain, because it was so easy. So easy. Now, that is something that the intelligence agencies are going to be scrambling with for a while, and it's going to take a while for the intelligence agencies to kind of save face, right? Because they really have gotten their noses bloodied over this, because it's not only that the hack was so much larger than anybody is even aware of yet, but worse, that it completely went unnoticed. Now, how much of that happened because of budget cuts, because of inept personnel being put into places where they shouldn't have been? Yeah, absolutely. That was a big part of it. And let's remember, that was under Trump. So, and a lot of this stuff, I have to tell you, I actually believe was quite unwitting for Trump. He didn't understand the ramifications, because he doesn't understand the ramifications of anything if it is outside of his immediate circle. So all Trump knew was, maybe Putin didn't like this guy so much, or maybe he thought that, that agency was, getting too much money. Because Trump doesn't understand, he would go, oh, okay, I can grant you that wish, Master Putin, because I'm stupid and I don't understand what the impact of that could be. Well, meanwhile, the impact of it was that Russia was walking away with American secrets. It was undermining it, and it was weakening it. It moved in rapidly, and it extracted a lot of stuff over, frankly, a longer period of time than anybody realizes. And this is not, there's a lot of things that Joe Biden is going to be able to put a halt to and reverse with an executive order, or, whatever it is, right? I mean, he, as a president, is going to have ways and means to start correcting stuff. Some of this stuff, some of this damage, I'm telling you, it is long term. It is going to take a while for some of those protections to be put into place, because you know what the reality is, that at this point, nobody actually knows how deep the infiltration was and how much damage was caused, because he went after those big corporations. He went after the government. It's going to be, frankly, a bit of a mess to try to sort out. And it actually, the Knight of Swords here is actually making me wonder if, in some ways, Russia may actually be able to, and I don't know anything about, tech, okay? Truly don't. And if you've watched my videos, you've probably figured that out already. But I'm wondering, it's making me wonder if there isn't going to be a way for Russia to almost extract itself from certain situations or areas and to leave virtually no footprint, or no footprint that can be detected. And so there may be places where they've extracted the information, but it's going to be very difficult to even know if they were in there, which means that may be an area that may not be offered heightened protection immediately. I'm telling you, it's a gift that keeps on giving here. As it became very, very clear to Putin that Trump's reign as idiot-in-chief was coming to an end, it feels like that's when things sort of got accelerated. And it feels as if in the last short while, and I don't know what that is, I'm going to say I'm going to say 12 months, as Trump completely blew up the whole COVID-19 situation, and even an idiot could figure out that this was going to be the end of his presidency. I think that was where Putin really, really started to apply a fair amount of pressure, not only to him, but to some of those other people in government who are beholden to Putin for whatever reason, to really sort of put the icing on the cake with the sprinkles and the ice cream and the cherry, okay? He was doing everything he could to, frankly, steal as much as he could while nobody was minding the candy store, because Trump certainly wasn't, and people were so incredibly distracted trying to keep Trump sort of corralled somehow, and there was so much ineptitude in the agencies. People who were competent were fired, and they were replaced by people who were incredibly underqualified, not knowledgeable at all. And so they, like Trump, they didn't have any idea what the ramifications or the impact was of what they were doing. And because they were Trump people, well, they had no desire to listen to anybody who actually knew anything. And so they didn't. And so this is where you're at right now. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to reverse these cards a little bit just so the story makes more sense. Okay. The Emperor, the Star, the Hierophant, the Fool, the Ace of Cups. Here we go. It was Putin's greatest wish and desire to bring down the American government. Trump was the perfect fool to utilize. Putin has succeeded beyond his wildest dreams and imagination. That literally is your story, right there. And Trump, of course, was a willing sacrifice, right? And this is the thing about Trump, is it's going to take a while, okay? A little while after he leaves office to actually start to comprehend, to whatever degree he's capable, exactly how much he was sacrificed. To actually understand how much he damaged. And don't misunderstand, he doesn't give a tinker's damn if he damaged America, but he's going to give a big tinker's damn about how much he damaged himself. The only question is, does he even know it? Look at this around the head. He lives in a bubble of his own making. I step in and out of his energy all the time. And I, more and more, day by day, am telling you that he is becoming so disconnected from reality. I mean, my God, did you hear that he wants to name that crazy lawyer Powell, that woman who's like totally into all the conspiracy theories and voting machines and whatever the hell her nonsense was. He wants to like literally name her special counsel to investigate voter fraud. Like he has completely bought the story that people are telling him who are in that circle who don't know how to tell him no and who don't want his wrath raining down on their head. So they're continuing to let him believe that the election was stolen. And he has lost, I'm sorry, but he has lost cognitive reasoning, in my opinion. From based on the energy I read and the cards I see, he is really, really no longer part of the world. His entire focus is, how do I make money? How do I secure and safeguard my money? How do I pay back everything that I owe to people? Oh, somebody's going to pay me $500,000 to pardon Joe Smith? Done. Somebody foolishly believes that I really still need a legal defense fund that is to fight the election. Oh, no, let them keep giving me money, but this is my legal defense fund for all the trouble I'm going to be in when I leave office. He is completely immersed in his world. The truth no longer matters to him. It doesn't exist. The only truth he knows is the truth in his head. It is the fantasy he tells himself, which unfortunately is being reinforced by people who simply don't want him yelling at them. They don't want to face his revenge when they say no. So they say yes. And because he's in this sort of altered reality, he believes it to be true because, frankly, his ego cannot take the truth. It just simply can't take it. And for some reason, in my head right now, I'm seeing, Jack Nicklaus on the stand saying, "You can't take the truth." There you have it. Sometimes it is a personal mystery where all of my head goes when I do these readings and the things that fly in. So, as some reassurance, Spirit wants you to know that, listen, the Biden-Harris administration is going to be able to restore some degree of balance. They're going to bring in some clarity, some calmness. They're going to start safeguarding the things that needed to be safeguarded, and there's going to be a way ahead. So it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, look at this. You've got the Nine of Pentacles. You have the Victory card. You have Kamala's heart. You have the Three of Cups, and a card that often for me will represent the law, justice, the court system. So they're saying, ultimately, things are going to kind of come together, but it is going to take some time, and they need to be given the time to do so. So ultimately, okay, so there's your Justice card, right? So ultimately, a lot of the stuff that went on is actually going to be uncovered and unearthed. And a lot of it is going to be made public. I gotta say, almost whether or not the new administration wants a lot of it to be made public, I think there's a sense that there has been enough deception, there have been enough lies, there's been enough smoke and mirrors, and it just feels like stuff is going to get leaked. If it's something that, really the public should be aware of, because frankly, this is their country. So it's going to be interesting. Trump is going to have so much trouble going forward. The losses that he suffers are going to be so immense. Because the partnerships that he counted on are not going to be there for him. They're not. They're just not. He's going to try really, really hard to sail himself into smoother waters. What's going to hang him up, honestly, is his greed. It's going to be the paper trails of money. It's going to be investigations into his businesses. This is the thing. There was a lot of stuff that went on federally, and it was a disaster, and we all know that. But as I read the energy, the stuff that's coming at him first, and it's going to hit the hardest, is going to be personal. Trump Corporation or Trump Org or whatever the heck they call themselves. It's going to be things that he no longer has the power to control or try to mitigate. Everything connected to his money. That's where the problems and the issues, are going to come. Greed, absolute greed. That's everything he knows. That's everything he's about. He doesn't have a frame of reference beyond that. Now, as the United States continues to unearth the whole hacking situation, there are going to be guardrails put up. There are actually going to be sanctions that come against Russia, and I think that it may well be not just sanctions from the United States, but it feels almost like from the G7. You know what I mean? From allies, Canada, the United States, Europe, who literally create some side kind of a wall to block off Putin and his behavior and to punish Putin for his interference. Because make no mistake, if he's doing it to the United States, he's doing it to a lesser degree in other countries. So as things continue to get uncovered, the strength against Putin, the pushback, is going to be significant. But you know what? It's not going to happen on January 22nd. Okay, things might get rolling, things might be implemented, etc. But it's going to take like a coalition almost to really, really stop the momentum that Putin has managed to gain in the last 4 years. And Putin has gotten darker and darker and darker, and so have his oligarchs. So there's really very little that they will not do to protect themselves, to cover up. But it seems that over time, there is going to more and more is going to come to light. And ultimately, Russia is going to be left weakened as a result. But I'm talking 5 years from now. Okay, I'm not talking in 5 days after the inauguration. It's going to take time to literally extract Russia's sticky fingers, because they're all over the place. Okay. So much is not known yet. So much is not known. There's going to be so much more that comes to light. But this is the thing. As this information comes to light, I really encourage you to try not to panic and just look at it, sort of like try to find the rainbow. And the rainbow is, okay, well, thank God, at least they found something else, because that's now something else we can start to protect. Okay? You have to not give in to this sense of everything must be corrected immediately, because if it's not, then, the whole thing was a disaster and nobody should have voted for Biden. People are going to be scrambled with their emotions as more and more of the lies and the deceit and the destruction comes out. And the problem is there is going to be a push. And I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it until the energy shifts. There is going to be a push for Biden's administration to right every single wrong. Not only the stuff that Trump did, but literally every single wrong. I saw this gentleman on MSNBC, and I don't know his name. He's a doctor, reverend. He's at the head of an organization for the poor. He's very learned. He's very wise, okay? But I saw him the other day on MSNBC, and he's talking about the new administration, okay? And he literally he wanted the Biden administration to tackle, and this is only what I can remember, and trust me, the list was, an arm length long. He wants, the stimulus stuff completely revisited and corrected and done properly and done so that it actually helps people. He wants the distribution of the vaccine to be like amplified and magnified immediately. He wants justice reform. He wanted housing reform. He wanted, I can't even remember, because as he was going through this list, I'm listening to him and I'm thinking, wow, like he is just expecting so much in order to get all of this stuff done. Biden's not going to need 4 years. He's going to need 8 because this stuff is, he wants, reform with the election. And there was just not an area he didn't want done. And I'm like sitting there going, oh my God, and then he said the words that I just about fainted. I'm not kidding. And this should be done within 50 to 100 days of the inauguration. That is the energy that Biden and Harris are up against. They are up against, it has been so bad for so long, you just need to fix it all and fix it right now, and we don't care how you do it. The problem is, first of all, if he doesn't get those 2 seats in Georgia, forget it. He needs those 2 seats. Now, as of right now, it looks like he's going to get those 2 seats. And early energy for the midterms actually feels more promising than negative for the Democrats. So we'll, tuck that behind and see as it gets closer. Really, I'm not going to start reading about the midterms before the inauguration, okay? But it is like this almost like panic reaction that people are having because as they start to understand all the things that were behind the moon and all the things that were cloudy and you couldn't see clearly and you couldn't understand why that agency was doing this, that, or the other, or why, right? All that stuff is going to start clearing up. And as it clears up, people are going to become more and more agitated and more stressed and demand more and faster action and behavior out of their government. Governments don't move fast. Now, the Biden administration is, trust me, it's going to move faster than any other administration you've ever seen. But people who have incredibly unrealistic expectations are going to cause trouble because that energy is out there. And that energy, as we have all learned in the last 4 years, is exactly what creates the momentum and the processes and the way people act and respond and behave. So I'm just putting that out there, and I'm going to keep nagging at this. I just am, because every time I tap into that energy, it is such a strong, everything is wrong, you fix all of it. I'm just saying, I don't think that can be done in 50 days. I don't think it can be done in 100 days. I'm not sure it can be done in 1,200 days or however long a 4-year term is. And I'm not saying he's not going to do nothing. He's going to start working immediately and get stuff going. Right? This is what you got to understand. What Biden is trying to do is like a massive home renovation, as opposed to tearing down the old house and just building something new. You can't do that with a government the size of the US government. You can't just bomb it and say, okay, well, the land's clear now, we're just going to begin all over again. It's not how it's going to work. Anybody who has ever been involved in a house renovation understands the analogy, right? It takes time. It's a system. There's a process. Enough nagging. I'm Canadian, really, Okay, so as I said, to repeat, today, later on today, there's going to be the Insights video out on the fire ritual to release to make room for the new. Later on this week, I don't know what day, because frankly, I'm going to be watching the news to see what crazy goes on, but I imagine Wednesday. There will be another video put out on the Intuitive Tarot channel, and then next week, as we kind of wrap up Christmas and are moving towards the new year, Again, there will be 1 insights video and 2 tarot reading videos, and then in the new year, everything reverts back to normal. So the Monday, Wednesday, Friday is for the tarot channel, and the Tuesday, Thursday is for the insights channel. One more really fast note on the insights channel. I have become aware that I am going to be in the new year channeling some all new material having to do with light workers and earth angels and others, indigos, all of those of us who are on the planet now as we're moving towards this transition. Because this really is part of that movement now, where the 4th and 5th dimension become much, much stronger. And so it's as if there is information that needs to be channeled just in terms of helping us identify our roles, perhaps giving us some insights, that kind of thing. So you can look forward to that in 2021. And hey, listen up, it is 1 month today. And, by noon, 1 month today, you're going to have a new president. Hang on to that. It's a good thing. It really is. For those of you who may miss my video on Wednesday, I'm wishing you an amazing, amazing holiday season. And for the rest of you, I'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon.